with lots and lots and lots of protein. What that does is it slows down the rate at which oxygen can diffuse into cells. Right? I have the circulatory system here with oxygen, and then I have a few of these muscle cells lined up against each other like this, and then maybe here's more circulatory system. I'm asking this oxygen to diffuse over a long distance. I'm asking it to diffuse faster than the rate at which it's being used up by these muscle cells. But muscle cells, like neurons, consume massive amounts of ATP. If you think about all of these myosin heads that occur in the sarcomere, let alone in the entire myofibril, you're talking about a lot of ATP that's being consumed over a very short period of time. Oxygen in these oxidative fibers is going to allow for ATP production, right, through cellular respiration. Now, the problem is getting oxygen to diffuse 2 cells away is not too hard, but if I glump up these cells with all of this protein material, I slow down the rate at which oxygen diffuses into cells. So it makes it that much harder to get oxygen. And the argument is, well, that's why you have glycolytic fibers to begin with, is those cells can survive and still do ATP synthesis using lactic acid fermentation in the absence of oxygen. Does that make sense? But there's another way we could kind of solve the problem. Instead of designing this alternate form of ATP synthesis that we call lactic acid fermentation, we can also have within these cells these molecules like creatine phosphate and other molecules like them called phosphagens. Phosphagens are phosphate-generating molecules. Imagine I have a molecule here that has phosphate groups stored on it. These can be a source of high-energy phosphates in addition to ATP when levels of ATP get very low. So the muscles have alternative ways to deal with low oxygen diffusion rates, one of which is lactic acid fermentation. The other option is have another molecule that serves as a source of phosphates besides ATP. This is produced through cellular respiration or lactic acid fermentation. On the other hand, this is produced through a different mechanism that doesn't require oxygen. It involves the transfer of phosphate groups from ATP to a phosphagen, but that's done during a time of low physical activity when oxygen's not limited. Okay? All right, so that's about all we're going to do for muscles here. Next time what we'll do is start the excretory system, and I'll see you next time. Bye.